Hi guys, welcome to The Delicate Flower. My name is Pam. I'm a social worker and also a counselor in training based in the UK. I make lots of content around mental health, recovery, coping strategies, a lot of psychoeducational content, theory, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in things of this nature, then please press the subscribe button, here we go, like this video, and let's get started. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you one of the simplest, and in my opinion, but I think it's a pretty solid opinion, one of the most effective trauma recovery models out there. So I'm going to be talking about the Judith Herman's trauma recovery model, which talks about trauma recovery in 3 stages. So when I came across this model, I was a bit skeptical about it. I thought, trauma in general is quite a complex thing, right? In terms of the impact that it has on us, in terms of how our mind processes, is quite a complex thing. So surely the recovery process also can be complex, right? In some cases it can, but according to Judith, actually recovery can happen in 3 stages. And when I read about it, I thought, wait, hold on, this actually makes sense. My own personal life and the life of other people around me that I've observed, these 3 things that she shares are often very relevant and very present when people are going through that stage of navigating through their traumas. So I just thought to share it with you so that you can use it as a guide to support you in your recovery journey. So the first stage of this trauma recovery model is simply about establishing safety. What does this look like? Well, safety looks different for everybody, but most people who have experienced trauma or abuse have their safety compromised. Their safety has been compromised in some way, whether it's because their body was violated, whether it's because somebody took away their power and so they didn't feel in control. In whatever case it may be, or whatever it is that the experience has been, often at times safety is one of the things that is compromised when it comes to trauma and abuse. So in Judith's first stage, she talks about establishing safety. Now this could look like establishing safety in terms of your environment or even in terms of your body. It's about looking at your body. What does your body tell you? What is it telling you? How does it react when you're feeling overwhelmed? Yoga is one of the best ways to really be attuned with your body. It could be about environmental safety. Perhaps you're still living with the perpetrator or the people who have caused you so much harm. It's about removing yourself from that environment. Establishing safety can also look like perhaps developing coping strategies such as grounding techniques, such as a lot of self-care techniques, building self-care toolboxes, self-care activities, or even sometimes having a solid social or family and loved ones as your supportive network around you as part of your safety net. So once you establish in safety, it creates the right foundation for you to be able to move on to stage 2, which is about really delving into the core of the trauma. The second stage of Judith's recovery model is around mourning and simply about grieving. So this is really about bringing up what has happened to you. Often at times when you go through trauma, a lot of people develop lots of coping strategies and skills to help us feel a bit more safer, to help us cope with the magnitude of what's happened. So people develop coping defenses, and some of this looks like repressing certain memories. Some of it looks like being in denial. Some of it looks like, completely shutting our dissociation. So many different things that we pick up to help us navigate these difficult, challenging seasons of our life. So by bringing up these repressed memories, by really understanding what's happening to you, making sense of the nature of what you've gone through, how it's affected you, it will rock you. Most of the times, even when you are in therapy and you start delving into the core of the trauma and what's happened, a lot of people begin to take a dip. They have an emotional dip. They feel like, oh, this is really worse. Why did I bring this all up? But actually, this is a good thing. So the second stage is about grieving. So grieving the losses, perhaps grieving the relationships, grieving the childhood that was stolen from you, grieving and mourning. So this is a very, very difficult stage. This often requires you to see a therapist, and perhaps finding the specific type of therapy that works for you. As you guys know, there are various different types of therapies and various different types of models models that underpin various different therapies. So it's about finding the right ones that work for you. But this stage really is about understanding your story, understanding what's happened to you, bringing a lot of these repressed memory to the conscious memory, facing these things. Sometimes some people take the bold step of challenging and confronting the perpetrators. For some people, they don't get the opportunity to do that, so they may find closure in a different way. But this stage really is about mourning and really grieving what has happened to you. This is why the first stage, which is about establishing safety, is very important, because when you have that safety net, whether it's a supportive network, whether it's grounding techniques, whether it's in a healthier environment, this can help you in the second stage. Because when you're feeling rocky, hopefully you don't fall flat on your face and feel like you're not coping, because you would have developed some solid foundational safety coping skills that helps you manage better in the second stage, which can often be a bit rocky. Third and final stage really is about reconnecting. It's about just the new life. This stage really is about you integrating the old self versus the new self. Is about understanding that, yes, this is my story, but it doesn't define me. This stage is about finding meaning and purpose in life after you've gone through something so traumatic. There's something known as post-traumatic growth. This is the growth after trauma. Some people assume post-traumatic growth is about happy vibes, and yes, I've dealt with my trauma, so let me be happy. But actually, this can be quite a depressive time for a lot of people because of the realization of everything that has happened to them. But you can also find a lot of meaning in this stage. You can rebuild relationships, connect with people, connect with yourself. Some people write books. Some people set up charities to help other people who have gone through exactly the same thing that they have. So this final stage about reconnection and finding meaning is about that. Really, it's about finding meaning, finding purpose in the pain, from ashes to freedom, from pain to purpose. Some people set boundaries. Some people decide how they want to live their life moving forward. So this stage is a very liberating stage, and it's really about self-care. This is where you take time with yourself. This is where you're very compassionate with yourself. This is where perhaps you become the mother to yourself that you never had. This is when you get to do all the childhood things that perhaps you missed out. This is really about discovering the new self, loving yourself, finding meaning and purpose, and living a fulfilling life. So as I said earlier, guys, this is a very, very simple model, and I think is a great guide for anybody perhaps who is at a stage in their life where they want to start addressing their traumas, but they don't know where to start from. This can be used as a great tool or as a guide to support you in terms of recovering from your traumas. Or perhaps, as I spoke today, you recognize some of these stages. Maybe you're already at the first stage, you've established safety, or maybe you're currently at the second stage of mourning your losses, mourning what has happened to you. Or maybe you're on the other stage, the final stage, and perhaps you're finding meaning, you're discovering new activities, you're setting boundaries, you're discovering yourself and developing yourself. I would love to know what stage of this model that you're currently in. So please comment down below. I'll have a look at the comments. I'll share. Hopefully we can share and we can learn from each other as well. So I hope you liked learning about this model. I am going to link some more information in the description box, so please feel free to have a look. And like I said earlier on, please press the subscribe button, like this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.